A couple of announcements right at the top. One is last night, Pam texted me and she's like, "Are we going to be doing communion tomorrow?" And I said, "Thanks for the reminder. We won't do it tomorrow since I didn't announce to everybody, but I'll announce it right now. We're going to have communion next week." So here's the announcement: communion next week. Grab your elements. I'll send an email out a couple of days ahead of time as well to remind everybody. But we'll be having communion. Um, I also wanted to make you aware of one other thing that is going on at the church. If ever you happen to drive by, um, there is another congregation called Roots Community Church that I've got to know the pastor through a local pastors network that I'm a part of. And they approached us a couple weeks ago saying, "Hey, have you guys started in-person services? Like, we're looking to start in-person services, and we've been meeting at a community center, and the community center has said, you know what, we're not meeting open to any meetings until September, and possibly maybe not even then." So he asked if they could use our building. And so in discussion with the board, in discussion with Church of the Americas, we've agreed to allow them to use our building on Saturday nights. They're actually just kind of slowly walking into this. They're not meeting weekly. They met the first time last night, and they had about a quarter of what their full attendance was. So they had about 20 people show up. Their full congregation's about 100, so only a quarter of them showed up last night. Their next meeting is going to be on the 25th of July, and then they have scheduled 2 services in August. It's a Saturday night service is when their services are, but they're just going to play it by ear. They said we'll probably keep the 25th, but if we still only have a quarter of the people showing up, then maybe it's too early to resume in-person gatherings. And so anyways, just wanted to make you aware. If you drive by on a Saturday night, there's a bunch of cars here, there's people praising the Lord. And so feel free to drop in if you wish, or just bless them on your drive by. But that's who's participating in our building. And so anyways, they're a great congregation. They actually anyways, we have some other connections from Arkansas, but great people. Oh, last thing, Deborah just reminded me as well. If you if you needed a reminder, thankfully, if you needed a reminder, here's a reminder on ways to give. I'll give you a quick update on this as well. We've so you can give online, lakeviewfm.org/giving, or via mail at the church address listed there. Catherine just texted and said, "Thanks for praying for my baby and me." So your prayers are felt. I'll give you an update. We're halfway through 2020, and COVID-19 was something no one expected to take over our world as much as it did. And I want to commend you guys for your continued giving to the church. There has been some more expenses than income this summer or this year, but a lot of that has to do with parsonage expenses, some new equipment, computer equipment that was bought here. If none of that had happened, and the Church of the Americas had continued to meet, like, our income versus outgo would have been relatively stable. And so I want to commend you guys for your continued giving and giving to the Lord, because even though we're not meeting in the building, there's still expenses here, property taxes, insurance, etc. And so we want to thank you for your giving, and giving in other ways, giving of rice and beans, and of your time, and bringing toilet paper, and all of those things as we are rebuilding that connection with Sacagawea Elementary. So all of that to say, you guys are awesome. Thank you for continuing in doing what Christians do, and that's praising the Lord, gathering together, giving, calling one another, encouraging one another. So we're glad to be able to do that this morning.